Yo, welcome to another episode of How Did We Get Here? Today we doing 5 ways of how to be intimate with your partner. Please tap in, subscribe, hit that like button, comment, you know what to do. Stay tuned. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of How Did We Get Here? And like I said earlier, today we're talking about 5 ways on how to be intimate with your partner. And I know when it comes to us men that we love to be physical and show physical intimacy. But I'm here and my wife is here also to help you fellas get through just the physical. Because we all want to just get our bump on, but we can't. Is more to that, to the story. So physical, emotional, and intellectual, spiritual, and experiential. Experiential, whatever. All right, let's get into that one. That is a tongue twister. Say that 5 times in a row. But baby, you wanna explain to them what experimental is?
Experiential.
Yeah, experiential.
Basically, it's just what it sounds like. You're building intimacy, closeness through experiences. So that can be holding hands, that can be a walk in the park, it can be a walk on the beach. Anything that you can do leisurely, you can build and work on intimacy.
Yeah, for example, you like to do your walks in the park. Yes. You like to do your hiking.
Yes.
Which, for me, fellas, it's not something that I want to do all the time, even though I do be outside all the time because of my job, what I do for my business. But, sometimes I don't want to go walking in the park, but it is soothing, and I know that my lady likes it, and it's sometimes we have to suck up and do the things that our spouse likes and we may not like. And just doing those little small things like that, taking her hiking, biking, whether if y'all go for a swim together, or whether if y'all do painting, or even go out for drinks together, just that time together, that leisurely time, that doing leisure things, that helps, that helps boost it, that helps her think about you more, or think about doing more things, maybe trips, maybe fun activities, parks, or something like that.
Yes, so you hear a lot of people say, let's make memories all the time. Let's make memories. And those memories, whether you know it or not, are tied to your feelings and your emotions and the things that you do. So when you think back on the memory that you made, it brings a certain feeling to it. So if you're building intimacy while you're making those memories, when you think back onto it, it should give you some type of feeling inside that says, okay, this is when I was close to my spouse or my significant other, and it kind of brings you closer to them just thinking about it.
And sometimes those things, you can reinvent those things or bring those things back to, the time where y'all did have fun, and just instead of just dwelling on those memories, let's redo those memories. Let's go out and redo the same things that we did before, but let's do it a little better. Let's do this differently. Let's increase the walking time, or let's go doing this more. It depends on whatever it is, depending on your spouse, male or female, what they like to do. It's good to reevaluate those things and go over those things and, rekindle that relationship again back to when y'all first started talking.
And then you can also utilize those memories and the time that you spent together when you're not on good terms. A lot of times that, you may be in disagreements or arguments or something like that. And if you just stop and think about, okay, well, sometimes I have to say the good outweighs the bad. Well, what part is good? And you can go back to those times when you created those intimacy moments, and you did the walks in the park and everything like that, and it kind of uh, overrides what you're going through at that moment, and say, okay, well, it's not so bad. This is just temporary. I can get over it.
Yeah, and even like she said, when they're mad, do it as a surprise, something that they wouldn't expect, and be like, let's just go do this, and knowing that that's one of their favorite things to do, that's something that will break the ice in the arguments or whatever the disagreements that's going on, or even when y'all on hard times, just to bring some joy into his or her life, with great memories from the past, those are good things to do, you know. Moving on, the next step, we got spiritual.
Right.
Having and some people, it's not just all religious when we say spiritual, but to some folks, yes, it is a religious and spiritual connection, when it comes to things, when y'all both God-like and y'all both children of God, and, you have that godly mindset, that y'all can connect in that spiritual way. And also, maybe you can touch more on that. And also, having the same energy and having the same connections together, vibing off of each other, feeling those good spirits together,
So, spiritual connection to me doesn't have to be tied to religion.
Mm-hmm.
Spiritual connection could be, yes, we believe in the same thing, but understanding and agreeing that there's a higher power than you and I, that, there's someone that oversees everything that's going on, and that we're just not here by happenstance.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the things that especially I can say for myself that it can attract me to him was his spirituality. We both go to the same church, and when I saw him, he was singing, and I'm just like, who is that? Who's that person
Girl,
that's singing?
Girl, you knew who I was.
So it's like, okay, just from the feelings that you get along, just from, how you feel the song, how you move through the song and everything, it just, you tap into that spirituality. If you can get to a point within your relationship, whether you're dating or whether you're married, and you guys are on the same page, you guys are equally yoked, you guys can pray together, that is something that's very attractive. And I know most people, well, I can't say most people, but I know a few ladies personally that thinks that spirituality is so attractive, because if you're feeling down or something like that, or you may not be feeling your best physically, and you got somebody that say, hey, sit down, let me pray for you. What? Somebody that got my back spiritually as well as physically and everything else, that's just like, oh shoot, that's an extra covering. I'm good with that. I love that. So you can build on that alone. Being spiritually connected is intimacy within itself.
Yeah, and like she said, and even if this is for other people, that may not be that religious, but still feel a spiritual connection with that person. Just it may not be prayer, but it can be that meditation time together, that time just sitting there reflecting on the good and the bad, and getting out all the bad, and you having that time to each other to reflect and think on oneself, and then good energy gives off, as long as y'all both are pursuing positivity,
right,
and keeping the negative out, that can also still work within a relationship, because y'all building emotionally, spiritually, with energy. We're not gonna dive too deep into the atmosphere with that, but that's that energy level, that energy when somebody gives off, something that it just connects automatically. You be like, okay, I can vibe with them. I can understand how they talk, how they move, and I can dig it. I can become one, or even feel comfortable, or having a clear understanding with that person.
Right. Right. So you don't want anyone that's coming to you where you're always positive and somebody's be like, well, I don't like this or you're that and you're always negative. That's not building
that
intimacy.
Negative energy got to go.
Yeah.
Like it's not gonna work. Not even with prayer. Like without prayer, it's nothing. Without the right energy and the right positivity that you put into this world, it's without nothing. Like you can't live in the world always feeling negative or not being around somebody that's going to uplift you or not somebody that's going to motivate you and that's going to uplift your spirits. That's what you're really looking for. Somebody that's going to change the narrative and change your mindset on life. And we all need that, male or female, no matter how much men be trying to hold in their emotions, and especially when it comes to their energy and what they put out, like you just got to be able to understand it, take it, be willing to compromise and give off the same energy, vice versa, I guess.
Yes.
The next one we're going to talk about is intellectual. That mindset, intellectual, being, you got to be able. No, can I be raw? I can't stand somebody that's very ignorant and low and simple-minded folk. I know some people cannot be in a relationship with somebody that's just simple-minded. There's just do you have a grasp on common sense? Like what you saying out your mouth when you speak sometimes, does it make sense when you say it? You got to be able to pull me in with your words. But it's mostly about, can you hold a conversation? Can you be able to match what I'm giving off without sounding like a complete idiot? Or looking at the person like, what are you talking about? Like the conversation is over here, but you over there. You cannot soothe me. You cannot tap into because we're going to get there, into my emotional or physical state until you please my mind. Yeah, stimulate my mind. So how can you stimulate my mind? You know what I'm saying?
Right. So this is something that, especially for the singles, that you should really concentrate on. You want to make sure you can hold those intellectual conversations.
Men, of course, this is reaching to y'all. You got, go ahead, babe. Sorry.
Okay, so not only do you want someone to stimulate you mentally, but you want to make sure that if you go out amongst other people, that you guys can understand each other on that mental level, maybe sometimes without even saying anything. That nonverbal communication,
yes,
that only you and the other person can understand. That's a part of being intellectual. It doesn't always have to be verbal. So you want to make sure that you can do that at an early stage. I don't want to seem rude. You don't want anyone that is, I can't say dumb, but we all have different intellectual levels.
I'm sorry.
You just want to make sure someone is on your level. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, it's on your level of conversation, goals in mind, goal in life,
right?
Family oriented, all of those things of that nature. Somebody that's just that doesn't have a grasp on life or even have some type of goal in mind, that's a person that's just intellectually just not on your level.
Right.
It doesn't even have, like we said, it doesn't even have to be book smart, but it's just
motivational,
goal oriented.
Motivational, right? You want to be on the same level or close to the same level where people are going places. If I want to go to school and you don't want to do anything with your life, then that means that you kind of are not on the same page. If I want to set a goal and say, well, let's buy, a house in the next 7 to 10 years, and you're fine with staying in a rundown condo, then we're not on the same level. Not to say you can't get there, but you want to make sure that you guys either are closely related in that area, or that's something that you can work towards
And that's something that's kind of rolls off into financial intimacy, but that's a different topic for another day, discussing finances. But, like that also kind of rolls into that, because what is your financial goals? What is like, if we together and we get married, where do we see ourselves in the next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? You know, what's the house? Are we gonna have kids? Are we gonna have this? Are we gonna have the house that we wish that we had, the land that we want, the condo that we want? Wherever it may take you. Just having that mindset, that positive mindset, and that goal. That I want change. I want better.
Always work towards
I could
better.
see us, being at this level. Like, we're already vibing together. We understand each other. We have the same likes. We still like the same things. We like to do certain things. We may have our little differences, but we still have things that we do like and that share the same interests, at heart and at mind, and we can use those things to our advantage to better our relationship.
And challenge each other. You want someone that's going to intellectually challenge you.
Yes.
You don't want to be
that's gonna push you to where you
right,
need.
Right.
You got to be willing to sustain, that push. You got to be willing to sustain somebody wanting better for you. You can't take it as, oh, you nitpicking, or you being judgmental, or you're nagging, or such and such. Like, somebody sees the best in you and you don't even see it, so why should they even continue to put forth their energy or their efforts towards you, or even continue to connect on that type of level, or try to get you to come up to their level, and you're not even trying to reach or even trying to get there. You're just stagnant or comfortable. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, content, or you being too content.
Right.
Okay, what's up, everybody? This your boy Terrio from the How Did We Get Here podcast. On our segment this week with the Black Business Spotlight. How you can reach us is through email, howdidwegethere21@gmail. But our Black Business Spotlight for the week is Peddlers and Pushers. That's right, you heard me say it, Peddlers and Pushers. Clothing line created by a good friend of mine, Shoni, and a friend of his out of Kansas City, Missouri. They put this clothing line together. Peddlers being for the teachers and judges and lawyers and all the people, nurses and doctors that's out there pushing and grinding and doing what they have to do. And whether if you're an entrepreneur or anything else, you doing what you have to do in life. And pushers being motivated and dedicated to your craft and putting it out there and letting people know the quality of work that you're putting out there. And let me speak about quality. The quality of these clothes is phenomenal. I swear, and I lie to you not. It is great fabric. It does wonders in the washing machine. It still lasts, and you still can go out and rock your gear. They got everything from sweatsuits and sweatpants, full gear. He has a full purple collection with purple short shirts, hoodies, everything, scullies, hats, and also included. And you also get masks. We letting you know that Peddlers and Pushers is the brand to go to for your new clothing. They have new stuff coming out this summer, but stay tuned, tap in. Also, if you want to be able to have your stuff put on the Black Business Spotlight, please reach us at howdidwegethere21@gmail.com. It's emotional.
It's my favorite.
Men, we have to tap into our ladies' emotional states. We got to be able to gather them, because without emotion, you won't be able to have the best sex of your life, which was getting to the last one, which is physical. But we got to get through the emotional first.
Right.
Emotional. So, but we got to get through that first, just to get to where we want our ladies to be in the bedroom. But go ahead, my lady, my queen. Go ahead, dive into that.
Emotional. We are not talking about how was your day? Oh, my day was fine. What did you do today at work? Did anybody talk to you the wrong way? We're not talking about that emotional level. I want to know, what do you think about when you're by yourself? Or what is the most challenging things for you? When you can connect emotionally and you can articulate how you feel, that brings you closer to your mate. I am stimulated by emotional connection. Like I don't necessarily have to have you, crying or anything like that, but I want to tap into your inner thoughts. What are you thinking? How do you feel? Not just on a, everyday basis on, oh, I'm okay. No, I can you explain what okay is? Can you go a little deeper in? Like let me know what's on your mind. Let me know something that nobody else knows. Once you can kind of make that link and that connection, it brings you really, really close.
Yeah, and what she said, when you're bringing you really close, intimacy starts outside the bedroom. You know, keyword, it starts outside the bedroom. Keywords.
Right.
Like
Right.
it could be, and this can tap into emotional and intellectual. You know, stimulating her mind throughout the day. It can start off with you leaving the house, or if she doesn't live with you, for single folks or folks that are couples that don't live together, just a simple text in the morning, to start her day, or even let her know in the morning, like, I can't wait till I see you, and then throughout the day, little things that's just stimulating her mind, whether you let her know, like, hey, when I get home, we going out to eat, or you don't have to worry about cooking, or you don't have to worry about doing this. That's taken care of. This is taken care of. When I get home, I don't want to see you in no clothes. I want you butterball naked on the bed. Like something that's gonna build up anticipation for the night or even for the afternoon. You may stimulate her mind so much that by the time you get home, she ready. It ain't ready for the nighttime. She want it now. And even women, let your man know, like that is a turn on for every man in America. That is that whether if he's straight or gay, I ain't judging, but I'm saying, women, that is what a man is looking for. Just to let him know, like, I can't wait to see you. In his mind, he like, what am I gonna get tonight? He gonna think it's gonna be a surprise, like it's gonna be something new, like it's new tricks in the bedroom or something. Stimulate his mind. Sometimes it's those words of affirmation, even just letting him know how good he looked, how good he smelled. Like, oh, you smell so good this morning. I wanted you to jump on my face or something like that. Or I want like, oh, you got a fresh haircut. I wanted to jump on your face. Or or anything of that nature, you know what I mean? Just the emotional, I love to hear those things. I'm like, okay, my anticipation is high, so obviously my wife got some plans for me tonight. So what can I do to one up her? What can I do to add to this to make it 10 times as fun, right, 10 times as better? And we connect on so much emotional level, it might bring tears to your eyes or her eyes by the end of the night, right. Where the connection is just that dope and is that good. I understand why most men be ready to shoot over something. Just saying. Now, I be wondering, same reason why some girls are ready to cut over it. Right. You don't play about that Johnson side. But But
emotional level of intimacy.
But you gotta be careful with emotional part. You can't play with people's emotions when it comes to intimacy, because don't play with her emotions just to get her physical. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because that can backfire on you very, 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 very quick. You know what I mean? You don't want to do that. Some guys just play the game just to get in your head, just so they can get the draws. Ladies, you gotta know how to know the difference. Fellas, some girls play you just to get your money. You know what I mean? They tap into your emotional state. She be like, you want some, baby? And you be like, yes, I'll do it. Yes, you can have it. Yeah, I'll give it to you. Same way with ladies, you just give it up because he talking so good, and it's hard to separate emotion from being played, or somebody playing the game, and we don't want that. You know, we always want people to stay true to themselves.
Hopefully, you're not playing that type of game if you're in a
hopefully
relationship.
you're not, because it's nothing to play with.
Right.
Emotions is nothing to play with when it comes to that. But like we're saying, the emotional intimacy, you know, those things right there, those daily affirmations, those daily comments, those daily upbringings in the morning, whether if it's prayer, motivational quotes to your spouse, you know, those things.
Pictures.
Yes, those things are just, even when she sent me pictures of herself, like, okay, like I like that, you know, that's tapping into my emotional, because I see it, you know, I see the looks that she's giving in the camera. You know, she may do something like that or something. I don't know.
Not,
you know,
not like that.
I mean, see, even if you send your man nudes, or men send their lady nudes, you know, just, you can have your face in it, I guess. I don't know. It's however you want to take the pictures. But
you digress.
Oh, too much? Okay.
You digress.
All right.
But
anyway, but
it's just very important. If you want to jumpstart your relationship in the bedroom, start with emotional.
Yes.
Say, hey, I will take care of the kids this evening. You take a bubble bath, you relax, or I will clean the kitchen and clean up the house. You relax. It's like, oh shoot, you doing that? Let me do something. And the thing about it is, it's like you're always wanting to please your spouse. When you take the focus off of you and put it on them, then they will do the same thing. They will take the focus off of them and put it on you. And that right there is a great recipe for physical intimacy.
And let's get this clear. Just because you wash the dishes every time, don't mean you're going to get ass every time. Don't mean you're going to get cheeks every time.
Correct.
Don't mean that. You know, don't just wash the dishes and be like, baby,
can I get some? Like, no.
Can I drop this dick off for you?
What?
Can I come on and drop this ding-a-ling off? I'm ready to drop it off. You know what I mean? But you can't. This is just not the key. You know what I mean? You can't do that. You know, that's not how you build within the relationship. Everything that we saying here tonight is like, you have to tap into this intimacy.
And it's from experience.
Yes, it is. Very well from experience. And last but not least, physical. Let's talk about sex, baby. But but the physical, you know what I mean? When it comes to physical, like, fellas, I know it may be annoying. I know it may be it may have you sweating, it may have your knees tired, it may have your arms hurting, but foreplay is very, very important. Even though it may take you longer than expected, and you be like, man, damn, I don't even want to have sex at this moment. But, you know, it's the build up for her. You know, sometimes.
Not just her.
Foreplay
is for him and her.
Sometimes, yes, it's for him and her when it comes to the physical. But most in the beginning, foreplay is for ladies. Men is ready.
Well,
like, you can lick our ear, ready. Matter of fact, you can talk to us in a whisper. He ready. You can just do like this and don't even touch me. I'm ready.
That's
like,
you. Everybody may not be the same.
Man, I guarantee we're going to take a poll, and I guarantee any man, he don't even have to be touched. You can whisper or lightly don't even touch him. You just be close within his bubble, and like, you just graze his skin, and he's ready.
Well, it can go both ways for men and women, because you have some women who are higher desire than some men, and that works for them as well. So it depends. I suggest you figure out within your relationship who is the higher desire, who's the lower desire. Not to say that there's something wrong if you're a lower desire or if you're higher desire, but you have to put in a little bit more work, which can go back to the other types of intimacy to get you started. And that could be the emotional, that can be the spiritual, you know, it can be the other intimacy levels to get you started for physical intimacy.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, you know, when you're in the bedroom, this is key. This is something that I've heard from other couples, and you know, it's something that we also had to work on. Like, you have to talk to your partner. I know sometimes, like, people think, like, if we're talking in the middle of the sex, then that's ruining it. No. Like, tell me what you like and what you don't like. Like,
exactly.
I can't have sex with her and I'm doing all this motion and it's uncomfortable for her. Like, ladies, speak and be like, all right, no, stop. Like, you either too deep, you're not deep enough. Figure it out. You gotta talk. You gotta communicate. Men, if she's giving you oral and she's doing something, or her back teeth is grazing it, you got to speak up. You have to be able to speak in a relationship. You got to tell her what you like. And it's not nothing that, oh, you used to like it like this. Well, I don't like it like that no more. How about trying this? How about trying that?
Yes.
Because it's his penis, you know, it's how he wants it pleased. Just like how you want your vagina pleased. You want to tell him, oh, when you're getting oral, up, too hard, sir. Up, be gentle. Up, what are you licking? Like, where are you at? Up, wrong hole. like you got to communicate when it comes to it, you know. But fellas, like, or ladies, I know sometimes ladies may have a problem with when they're hearing their spouse say, oh, I don't like that. Like, you think you're doing something wrong when you really not, or just ask him, like, what can I do to make it better? What do you like? Do you like this? Do you like that? Just do test. And so he be like, if he say, oh, right there, like, yeah, that's the spot, like, stick on it. He be like, oh, I didn't know you like that. That even though your head might be turning like this, like The Exorcist, you know, that's something that he might like. You know what I'm saying?
To sum it all up, you want to make sure that you are communicating.
That was a lot of examples, wasn't
it? It's
okay.
It's okay though. You
I'm,
are who you are.
Yeah, I'm just straight to the point.
So you want to make sure you communicate with your spouse, your significant other, your mate. Without that communication, it's like you're wandering in the woods with no place to go. You don't want to do that. If you can speak up, and that goes for both people, speak up. In the beginning, you may like a certain way, you may like a certain thing, but that may change over time and you may like something different. You should always expect that within a relationship, you guys are going to grow, you're going to like different things, and you need to be ready for the change because it will happen. Yes. It will happen. And especially for ladies, if anything has changed with you physically, like the birth of a child, a surgery, or anything like that, some things may change. And so,
even with age,
right, or even with age, some older women, you get to a point where you're in menopause, and you know you can't get as wet as you used to be, so you have to bring in aids and everything, like that guy said, moist. You have to bring in different things, so whether that be lubricants, whether it be grapeseed oil, whether it be any type of thing that's gonna get you lubricated to where you need to be, then that's something that you're gonna have to do. Don't just sit there and be dry and be all hurting, because that's not gonna work. You have to speak up. You have to say what you want, say what you don't want.
Look, you gotta communicate. Like you said, you gotta grab lubes, you gotta grab oils, whatever that's gonna make you comfortable. You cannot sit there and be in pain and be like, and not say nothing to him. And he like, everything all right? All right, and as soon as you say, yeah, I'm straight, well, he gonna go back and tearing it up and just going in raw. And man, I know you feel the friction, so you better speak up and say something. Don't sit there being in pain, both of y'all in pain, and it's just an enjoyable night thinking like, oh, well, you couldn't do your thing, or you ain't stay wet, or you couldn't stay hard. Like, it's all a communication thing.
Yes.
Also, you know, talk in the bedroom. Like, don't sit in silence.
Well, that's a preference, I believe.
That's creepy. You can't sit in silence. You have to talk. You got to communicate. You can't just sit there.
Well, it could be. People may have that as a game or something. Let's see who can stay quiet the longest. Like,
well, I can understand. I can understand that's a game, but that ain't every time we have sex. That ain't a game.
Well, I mean, hey.
So, like most men, I'll say I think most men like to hear, some moaning, some slow down, some right there. Like you letting him know, like, all right, he doing his thing. That gasses him up, even though sometimes that'll make us come faster. But like that still, like that give me the boost. I'm doing my thing, so that make him wanna, give it to you either rougher or you like right there, smack my ass, something like that. He might be like, pinch my nipples, something something, whatever you into, bro. I'm not judging.
So,
but I'm just saying.
With that physical intimacy, don't be afraid to explore and do different things. That can include games, that can include toys, that can include music, that can include lighting, that can include location. Don't be afraid to change it up. Just don't get arrested. Don't do anything illegal. But again, getting back to the spiritual side, in the Bible, for those that are connected, illegal. You want to do anything illegal?
What, like bondage illegal?
No. I'm talking about like sex in public or anything like that.
Sex in public.
You don't want to do anything illegal.
Even though it's a rush, it's like exciting.
Anyway, you digressed again.
All right.
So we're getting back to, on the spiritual level, if you are believe in Christianity or whatever, you do have the Bible as a reference for married couples when it says the bed is undefiled. So whatever you and your spouse agree upon that you want to do in your bedroom, that is strictly between you and your spouse.
Yes.
Do not judge other couples for the things that they do in their bedroom, because if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. I wouldn't judge. Like if somebody wants to bound themselves in plastic wrap and be chained or whatever, then let them do that.
That's some kinky stuff, but ain't no kink shaming. We don't kink shame.
Right.
Whatever you do. And then some people, we're going to just be honest. We know some people got a little fetish. You know what I mean? Don't judge other people just because your fetish is a little bit less than theirs. No kink shaming when we talking about this. We'll have an episode when it's just strictly sex talk. We're going to have an episode when we straight spiritual connections. All these intimacies that we're talking about, we're going to break them up into other episodes and just dive in just to those intimacy types, And, we thank y'all today, for joining us, in the intimacy episode. A couple of people was talking about this and asking for this episode. But also, we're going to thank y'all. But before we leave out of here, I have a confession, and I'm going to go first. My confession is I've always had a crush on Robin Rihanna Fenty, that y'all may know as Rihanna. I fell in love with this music artist back in 2005 when she dropped Ponder Replay, and I seen so much potential. Nobody believed in me. I said, yo, she is beautiful. Everybody was like, what, you tripping? I was like, man, I seen it in her. I said, this woman is gonna be the ish. I put her on the back of my MySpace. This is way back in the day. Yeah, I had Rihanna everything. I ain't even care. I played her music. What? You can't tell me nothing about Robin Rihanna Fenty, born February 20th, 1988. You can't tell me nothing. First tattoo was a music symbol. You can't tell me nothing about this woman. I love Robin Rihanna Fenty. She was my first musical or celebrity crush for real. Well, her and Taraji P. Henson. But still, like, she was the first. Like, you couldn't tell me nothing. You could ask all my friends. You couldn't tell me nothing about this woman. But, yeah, that is my confession.
Okay. My confession is that I pretend sometimes to be asleep when my kids call my name.
Like most parents.
Anybody who have kids, especially younger children, it can be tiresome. Mom, mommy, mom, mom, mama, mom.
Mommy. Mom.
Oh gosh.
Ma.
I could be sitting on the couch. Next thing you know, I'm like this.
And then I got to be the one to answer to it.
It's tiring sometimes. So I just pretend that I'm asleep, and I can pretend really well that I'm asleep. And my littlest one, she'd be like, oh, mommy sleep. And then she'll go back upstairs.
So you just fake the phone just so she'll leave you alone?
Sometimes I do.
Because you know she don't want nothing.
She
asked you for something, for a snack or something to drink.
More than likely, it's probably a snack.
Yeah. So that is our, I have a confession. Like we said before, if you want to remain
anonymous.
Thank you for saying it for me. If you want to remain that way, send it to our email at the bottom at howdowegethhere21@gmail.com. Again, to reach us and tell us your confession, you can remain
anonymous.
And you can reach us at howdowegethhere21@gmail.com.